How's it going, everyone? I haven't streamed in a while, and I had to like remember how to get my whole chat set up and all this other stuff. All right, how's it going, everyone? Figured let's do a little bit of work on a side project on a stream. Yeah, this will be posted later, so you should be able to find it. The one thing I've been doing is spending some time learning about Drizzle, which is an ORM. I usually use Prisma on all my side projects, but I've been hearing some good things about Drizzle and been having some issues with Prisma in terms of like deploying to a serverless runtime. It's just kind of a pain. So I've been looking into this. It's been pretty nice. And one of the best ways you can learn new things is just by building a new project. So I've been starting a new project called Pantry Tracker, which the idea is, basically allow you to track the things that are in your house, your food items, whatever. Get reminders of when you need to buy new stuff. Maybe share lists with family members. Just something to build. Not sure how useful this is, but so I've been working on that. But then also I've been trying to apply like clean architecture in a sense to this project. This is an Next.js project, so it's using server actions. But from what I found, when you're using server actions, stuff can get very like muddied unless you actually like force yourself to make a tiered architecture. So just to kind of walk you through how that's working, I have a form here. And in this form, when you type into the form and submit it, it calls an action, which is happening here. And that is going to call a server action. Okay, so the way I have this set up right now is I have like an underscore actions directory where I'm keeping my server actions, and I'm trying to make one action per file so that it's easier for me to like maintain for myself. I'm still trying to figure out like what the best way to set up your file structure in Next is. They kind of force your hand, and they force you to like make a bunch of files because you can't put client components inside of server components, and sometimes you can't put server actions inside your client components. It's kind of annoying. So that's been kind of planning out that to figure out what the best approach for me is. Anyway, here is a server action. And what this server action does is it's going to get the user if one is authenticated. And then I'm basically calling a helper function that's supposed to handle form field validation. And based on like what errors are thrown in this code, it'll go ahead and set the form validation errors over here. So if I go over here and just type in like add item, we get a nice field validation. And what this is calling a use case. So a use case is a term used for like clean architecture. Sometimes they're called interactors. But it's basically where you keep all your business logic, and you don't want to pollute it with various things that are related to your front end. So for example, what we're doing here is I'm passing some dependencies using just like a dependency inversion principles. And I'm passing that as function arguments. And this thing also takes in the data from the form. So I'm passing the name here. I'm passing a dependency for getting the user from the database. I'm sorry, getting the user from authentication, which is using next auth behind the scenes. And then also persistence method of create items. So let's look at this use case real quick. What is this doing? Well, this tries to get the user from the context. If it's not defined, it throws an error. And then it tries to create a business entity called an item. So if you look at this, this is just like an ES6 class. It has some private properties on it. It has a constructor. It has some getters, and it has a validate method, which uses Zod to validate the item to make sure everything is good. So down here, I validate the item. If invalid, I throw a specific validation error. Otherwise, I'll create it in the database using a persistence method. So over here, I have a data access directory with an items file. And this has some methods. So in this case, we have a create item, which is taken in a create item DTO. So it's just a really like simple primitive that you can pass to your data access layer so that your data access layer isn't exposed to various entities or whatever. That inserts it into the database. I also have a mapper. So you have an item entity, you pass it into this mapper, and that basically just creates you an item DTO. And then again, you'll learn with clean architecture and various other design principles. I don't know if it's over engineering. Some people say it is, some people say it's not. But your business logic should not be coupled to lower level implementation details. So the way that you write the item is a lower level persistence implementation detail, which is why we're passing it in as a dependency inside of the functional arguments. Sometimes you can also use like dependency injection frameworks as well. But that's why we're passing it in instead of having this thing import it, because we don't want this file to be dependent on the underlying persistence method. So that's a lot of overview of this over-engineered approach for saving stuff. Yeah, maybe it is domain-driven development. But that's what I've been playing around with. What's up, people from Twitch? Have I tried Drizzle? Yeah, I'm using Drizzle in this project. I can kind of walk you through it. Yeah, I guess it's more of a layered. I don't know what this is called. Honestly, like I feel like people use similar names for all this architecture. The thing that I've seen to be the most useful is just have some type of layers, right? Just have some type of data access layer, have some type of business layer where your business logic and your business entities live, and then have your persistence layer, which in our case is Next.js. And the idea is you like insulate these layers from each other, which is supposed to help it be easier to maintain when your project ends up becoming a 4 or 5 year old project and you have hundreds of thousands of lines of code. This type of approach is supposed to help with that. Kind of what we do on a project at work. I guess it kind of helps. Sometimes I feel like it is over engineering. Oops, what did I just do? Is there a way to contact me? Yeah, you can join my Discord and send me a message on there if you want. So one question is, why Drizzle over Prisma? So one thing I don't like about Prisma, there's a couple things I don't like about Prisma. Prisma, when you change your schema and you have to like rerun your, when you change your schema, you have to rerun the migration. And often I had to stop my next server and restart it just for those changes to be applied. I also have to go into my Prisma Studio. I have to stop that and restart it. I don't know if they fixed that, but I've been having to do that on all my projects every time I run a migration, and it's just a pain. I've noticed with Drizzle, I don't have to do that. I run a migration and like my code just works. Secondly, Drizzle doesn't have this like underlying Rust binary. So if I go to, here's some Drizzle code. I have a schema here. Yeah, so Drizzle isn't based off like a Rust binary. So in order to get it running on a Lambda environment, you don't have to like create some type of underlying Lambda layer and then bundle the Rust binaries and try to figure out how to get that all deployed. And since I like using SST for my deployments, I don't use Vercel. Whenever you start like bringing up new Lambdas, it becomes very difficult to figure out how to actually bundle that stuff up. Like there's a whole project. Let's see if I can find it on my other screen. SST Prisma layer. Like just to get Prisma working, there's this entire like project that kind of like walks you through how to do that. It's just complicated. Somewhere in here, there's like a layer. Let's see if I go to stacks. Where is resources? I think Prisma layer. Yeah, so they make like a Prisma layer. This is all the code they had to like basically add in so they can get Prisma working on a Lambda. Like, what is all this? Versus if you're using Drizzle, like Drizzle is just a TypeScript library, so you don't need an underlying like binary and have to get all these engine stuff ported over. Also, Prisma has like a bunch of additional engines you have to prune out, or else your Lambda size is going to be huge. A larger Lambda means a larger cold start. So I don't know. I'm just trying to move away from Prisma, honestly. But it's cool because Drizzle actually has, excuse me, Drizzle has basically the same studio. I don't know if I could probably show that real quick. How do I start that? npm run studio. So this is the Drizzle studio. It literally looks exactly like Prisma, as you can tell. So you can go in here, you can actually like modify items, delete items, create items. So it's nice. Kind of the reason why I'm using it. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, no, Prisma's just kind of doing some weird stuff. But I still like it. I mean, I use it on all my other side projects. It still works. It does the job. I'm just trying to, you know, broaden my horizons and learn some new things. Oh, this YouTube chat. Why does it keep opening stuff? What's up, Abdulrahman Aboudi? Type ORM. I haven't used Type ORM before. But I think Type ORM has been around for a lot longer than Drizzle has. So I could understand why you'd be hesitant switching over. And it's hard to switch over from an existing approach if the approach you're doing is like good enough. If you have like tons and tons and tons of different like tables, it's kind of hard to switch over your ORM. Let's see. I got 70 viewers going. Yeah, raw SQL. I don't know. I try to use an ORM over raw SQL. I just don't want to write raw SQL. What's up, Codex? Hey, while I have you guys here, I do want you guys to help me test something if you guys are okay with that. Let me give you a link. I'm going to try to record a video off of this too. And then I'll go back to this other project for a little bit. Why did you write entities with class? I think classes kind of... There's nothing wrong with object-oriented programming, in my opinion. I think in some instances, using a class can make a little bit more sense. Especially with business entities, for me, it just feels like it's a better approach. Especially when your entities get more complicated. Like, let's say you have a specific functionality that needs to change multiple things at the same time. I mean, it's cool to have a method here that says like, I can't think of a good use case for this item entity, but imagine you have a function and it has to, you know, change a couple of these things. It makes more sense to have that coupled inside like an entity versus that logic living somewhere else. But you could do it in function with just functions as well if you want. You could have a bunch of different like functions that take in an object and then like change it in a certain way. I don't know why I have like Twitch notifications playing. I thought I'd turn those off. Anyway, all right, why I got you guys here? Go to this link. I want to try something. I've been working on a little side project game for a sponsor video, but I wanted to see if you guys can all connect to it. And maybe we could try playing together and see how this works. So I would go to that link if you have time, and you should be able to create a room. I'm going to try to record while I do this, so it might just completely freeze my computer. Let's see. I'm going to create a room. You guys are welcome to join. I'll say like my test room. And I'm going to select, Washington, D.C. We could do 8 players. Go ahead and see if this works. I haven't tested this in a while, so I hope it does. If you run into a bug, let me know. But this is like a deathmatch arena that I'm doing for... I lost connection. Did you all lose connection to that room? Try, also try creating rooms. I want you all to create as many rooms as possible. I feel like it's not showing the rooms for some reason. Oh, here we go. Just next caching a bunch of stuff. Go ahead and join this one. I don't know why that thing crashed. Anyway, this is for a... and why does it keep losing? All right, I have to fix that bug. Anyway, thank you all for playtesting that. Obviously, I got a bug. I'll have to go figure out how that's why that's crashing. The VS Code theme I'm using is called Bearded Theme, stained blue. I'm gonna try to figure out why this is crashing. Probably should have tested this with a smaller amount of people. Okay, so I'm connected to a Mumbai server. I got like 300 ping right here, right now. All right, this server's not crashing. That's good. I'm not sure why it's not crashing. The other ones are. I'm gonna leave and join a different one. Try this one more time. I just wanted some video footage of this. So if it can stay running for at least like a minute or so, that'd be cool. So if anyone wants to join my room, it's called like a WDC room. I wonder if it crashes when the max players join. How many people are in the room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 people. I think if you get 10 kills, the game ends, so I'm about to win this. That's what's up. I'm gonna try it one more time. One more time. Do 16 people in a room. It crashed when I left. Maybe that's the issue. I also want to see, like, at some point, I mean, like, this isn't a really, oh, stop. This keep getting killed. This isn't a really robust, like, game server. Just a side project I'm working on. Yeah, I think it starts lagging once you get to, like, a certain amount of players or something. Got him. Got him. Man. Am I really that good at my own game? 2 matches in a row? All right, I'm going to try it now with 4. I want to see if this is the bug. I'm going to do max players of 4. I know this is unrelated to the actual stream title. I needed some people to play test this for me. And I'm wondering, not destroy the room. Not destroy the room. Yeah, I do see a bug in the running code. So if you try to join my room, which has a max of 4, does it give you a message or does this like instantly disconnect you and say like an error has occurred? I keep walking right into these snowballs. Just made this game to show off his skills. No, this is actually for a sponsored video, which I'll probably be working on in a bit. And I like making games too. All right, last thing, guys, I want you guys to try is everyone. I want you all to just go and make a new room in whatever region is closest to you. Pick a ping that's lowest. Actually, pick a random ping as well. I want to try to get as many rooms created so I can kind of record one more thing for this video. Kind of annoying how, like, I think there's a delay. Hoping we can get like at least 8 or something rooms. All right, hopefully we can get a couple more. I just need like a couple more. I just want to show that like people are creating rooms in various regions. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of rooms. So as you can see, using the I'm just gonna go ahead and like try to record some video for the sponsored video. So as you guys can tell, using Hathor allows us to quickly spin up a ton of different rooms at various regions across the globe. And if I go ahead and log in, I'll edit this later. I never done a recording while I'm doing a stream. I feel like Theo right now. So now if I go ahead and log into the Athora dashboard, you can see that we have a ton of different rooms that have been spun up dynamically. And some of these rooms are actually being grouped onto the same VM that's in the region. So for example, the London room has 2 different game servers running right now. I can go ahead and dive into this and see what the connection counts are, the bandwidth, the memory usage. And right now I think I have it set to 5 rooms max per that container, but if I find out that the server is a little bit laggy, I can bump that down to have less rooms on a game server. So for example, this one just crashed. So I need to fix that bug. But overall, I think, yeah, I need to fix that bug. Also down here, you can see a nice log when something happens. For example, for whatever reason, my game server has a bug and it crashed, and it did end up killing all of the rooms that were running. So that's kind of a trade-off between if you want to have a bunch of different rooms running on the same VM, you have that risk that if you run into a bug, it's not going to kill just your single room, it's going to kill all the rooms. So you have to make sure that your code is resilient enough to not just kill everybody. So you have to make sure your code is resilient enough to not just crash the entire you have to make sure that your game server is resilient enough to not just crash and stop all the rooms when you run into a bug. All right, I think that's decent enough. I can just go ahead and stop recording that. By the way, go check out Hathora. This is super cool. Like, as you guys tell, like, it just spins up a bunch of different game rooms for you. Dynamically as people are joining. The bug is my fault. I have some bad JavaScript code that's crashing. I think I made some changes last night and it might have bugs. Yeah, let's get back to what we're working on earlier. Sorry for that distraction, but I think that was pretty cool to kind of test that with you all. Yeah, sorry about those retakes, man. Sometimes you have to do it like 10 times before you say the words that you're trying to say, but for some reason they just don't come out properly. And of course, when I'm not like recording a video, I feel like you can like take pauses and actually think about what you're about to say. All right, let me scroll back with the... Is it possible to implement it just using AWS? Maybe. So a little bit of insight, the way that that service works is they're using Kubernetes. And when you basically try to connect to a new room, let's say you pick India, it's going to use their Kubernetes cluster. It spins up a pod in an India data center, and it basically runs your JavaScript game server. The UI is going to connect to that JavaScript game server and try to connect you to the lowest ping So Kubernetes is how they're doing it. I'm sure there's other approaches that you could easily achieve this. Well, I want to say easy. I don't think this is a very easy task to achieve. It's not something I would want to try to figure out myself. Well, I would like to figure that out because that's actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool problem to solve, like dynamically spinning up game servers in various regions across the globe. And not only that, is when everyone disconnects from the game server, it actually kills the VM. So it like saves you money. If no one's in your game server for like 5 minutes, it just kills your VM. So I can have this website running at all times and not get charged for it because no one's actually playing it. I probably want to request you to build a model town board for driving school. Not sure what that means. Do I have an open source project that the community can contribute to? I could try to start one again. I mean, we still have Code Racer. That one kind of just died off. But it's still there. I mean, you can still contribute to it if you want to. We just need someone to really like take ownership of that project and just work on it. I just don't often have the time to go back and do that. Did anyone have any questions about anything? I know this stream said Drizzle. I can kind of walk you through Drizzle. It's actually really easy to get set up. So to get Drizzle working on this project, I had to create this index file, and this is specifically for Next.js because in dev mode locally, like it'll keep on creating connections to your Postgres database, and then you'll get like an error to me connections at some point. So there's all this like boilerplate logic to cache a connection if it's local. Otherwise, it'll just create a new connection to the database on a database instantiation, I guess. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it'll be fine. So that's this code. And then we have a schema. So in Drizzle, this is how you define your tables and your models and your columns. So in this case, I have all of the default stuff that's needed for next auth. I got a users table, accounts, I got sessions, verification tokens, and then down here is my actual table for this project. I have an items table, got an ID, it's got a name, and it's got a user ID. This is how you can do like references. So like I'm saying this item table has a column called user ID. It can't be null. It has to be a text type. And then it references the users table. So you see up here user.id. Roll up, you'll see there's a users variable. That's how you kind of do like the relationships in this Drizzle ORM. It's Drizzle, not Dribble. So far I like Drizzle a lot. I might like it a little bit more than Prisma, but I haven't really done anything complicated. If you look at the actual like data access code, this is the only ORM queries I've done. I have like a single find mini that literally does no querying. I have an insert and I have a delete. So I haven't really dived deep into how Drizzle works and how like their SQL builder is set up. But outside of that, I think it has some advantages over Prisma in terms of like deploying and also like just the developer experience. I can't talk today. Now I think that's all you really need to know about it. I mean, there's migrations. I guess I could talk about that. So there's a Drizzle directory, and you can see that we have like all of these SQL scripts. Okay, these I did not create. These are automatically created by something called Drizzle Kit. So you can go to their docs and read about this. It's very similar to how Prisma will automatically generate your migration scripts. So let's go to my package.json. I have a migrations generate alias, I guess you can call it a script, which runs Drizzle Kit generate PG, since I'm using Postgres, and then I pass it my Drizzle config file. So if I go ahead and look at this, this tells Drizzle where my migration script should go, the type of database driver I'm using, and then also where my schema is. Okay, so basically what I do is I run this after I've changed any of the items inside the schema file. That'll recreate a new migration script inside of this directory. Okay, so for example, at some point I added a set not null to this name column. And then when I ran this, it generated that migration script. And then after you have a new migration script, you can run this command drizzle-kit push pg config drizzle config. And that's going to basically apply the migration script to your database. Yeah, my computer's starting to lag a little bit. That's not good. I think that's it. I think that's basically the overview of Drizzle. There's also this meta folder. I have no idea what this stuff is. I'm guessing it kind of takes a snapshot of what your current database looks like, and then it probably does like a diff to figure out the new migration script. Honestly, I could probably go read the docs. I haven't gone to that part and read that. Probably not right now in the stream because my computer is starting to lag. I think it's just overheating from me playing that game. I had my recording going, I had my streaming going, got a bunch of tabs open, so I think I need to let my computer like cool down. That's the one issue with the M1 Max is that when they get overheated, they start throttling and your streams end up start lagging a lot. I heard that they are more performant than Prisma and can make optimized queries and left joins better. Yeah, I don't know too much about the performance. Do you happen to know if they have reverting migrations mechanism? Bro, please tell me your VS Code product icon theme. It's called Bearded Icons. That's the extension, Bearded Icons. Yeah, thank you, Under Control. Yeah, I don't know if they have a migration down setup. I mean, I guess we could go look at that, right? Let's drop migration. Yeah, they have a Drizzle kit drop. It lets you delete previously generated migrations from a migration folder. But I don't know if it rolls back. Yeah, I don't know if it rolls back your database. I'm guessing it would. Like, why would you just write a command to delete a file? I'm guessing they actually revert the migration against your database when you do Drizzle drop. I guess they should tell us in the docs, wouldn't they? Am I doing this right? Drizzle kit push dialect lets you push your schema changes directly to the database and omit managing SQL migration files. But I am using SQL migration files, so I think I might be doing this wrong. There's generate. Now let's run our first migration to the database. Migrate DB migrations folder. Yeah, I might be I don't know if DB push is the push PG is like the recommended way. Anyway, I'm still learning about it. So if anyone knows, let me know. Yeah, I haven't even used PMPM yet. I'm one of those old devs that like when something new comes out, I try it like after a year. I'm very hesitant to try new things, but I guess NPM doesn't really change much of anything, right? It's just stuff just works faster. Still uses like the package lock and all this other stuff, right? So for anyone who's in the stream who uses Drizzle, would you let me know what's the proper way to run the migration scripts? Because I see they have this db push command, push pg, which is what I've been using, but now reading through their docs, they make it seem like you're supposed to make an actual like script like this to run your migration scripts. They have a Drizzle folder, they have a source folder, they have an index file, they do await migrate db. I might just try that real quick. We could put it. I'm gonna put it at the top level. Migrate TS, whatever. Let's just go ahead and import some of this stuff. Why is this not importing? Okay, I'll put it inside a source. Why is that not working? Import db from migrations folder Drizzle. All right, let's try running this. So I'm actually, man, my voice keeps cracking. I'm gonna go over here, instead of db push, I'm gonna say db migrate. Now I'll just say migrate, how about that? And that's going to run TypeScript file. So like, I guess I would have to, I'm not sure I understand this at all. I guess I could use tsx, or maybe I could use ts node, I don't know, and just run migrate source migrate.ts. Give this a shot. npm run migrate. tsx command not found. Top level await is currently not supported with CJS. Okay. Now to this async function main, and then I'm going to go ahead and just call it not find meta journal JSON file. Drizzle migrations. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Twitch chat coming in strong, helping me out. Thank you. Well, password authentication failed for user web difficulty. Okay. Probably because I don't have the env file sourced, so I think I need to like install .env. I forget, is this how you do it? Oh, my computer's lagging, man. I mean, the database URL should be set. It's just a locally running post. Oh, is my Postgres database not running? Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's Drizzle Studio. I'm gonna stop that. You know, I remember why I stopped streaming. It's because about 40 minutes into my stream, my computer starts lagging, and it just never recovers. Like right now, I'm saving files in VS Code. It's taking 5 seconds for stuff to save. I'm clicking buttons, taking forever for stuff to switch. My one regret with the M1 Mac is that it cannot stream too well. So if I want to sit here and just read chat messages from you all, I can do that. But when it comes to actually like live coding, it just struggles. I mean, yeah, we have database URL set. Password authentication failed for user webdev Cody. Why is it even using webdev Cody? JSON formatted payload, obviously not in base64. What Mac are you using? Something with active cooling can help fix that. Yeah, I have an M1 Mac. It doesn't have a fan, so I know like when my computer is actually starting to feel warm, it starts slowing down. Yeah, but for the most part, I like it. Like if I wasn't doing streams, it works perfectly fine. Password authentication failed for user webdev Cody. I don't get why it's even saying like webdev Cody. Where's this coming from? Like using some, like using my Mac username to try to migrate. Anyway, this will be one of those things I like stop the stream, I'll fix it in 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a connection string issue, but I'm printing it out here. Like, this works fine when I'm just running my Next.js application. So, like, it's in my .env file. There's nothing secret in here, so don't worry. But there's no, like, webdev Cody anywhere. So I'm guessing maybe it's not getting the database URL. I could try going into this file and then also printing it out here somewhere. Yeah, okay, so it's not getting set in this file. Because this file reads from process env. So maybe the fact I'm just setting it here is just not. I mean, I know a quick fix I could do. I could just go ahead and like get my .env file and source it. Yeah, that's the issue. I have to figure that out. I thought running a .env config here would have set it on the actual like node process. And then when I imported this DB thing, it would have used it. But I think it's because of the way imports are working. It probably runs this code before the .env config function's called. And then it like prints out undefined here. I don't know. But yeah, this works. Now, the reason this isn't working is because I already have my database already like migrated. So I think if I wanted to get this working, I have to like drop my database. I kind of wonder if I can just use Studio and just like delete the tables. Truncate tables. Sorry, I'm clicking around on another monitor, so it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but. All right, for some reason I can't delete the tables. All right, let me try this. My computer's so laggy. You know, whatever. I can end this stream anyway. You guys have any last questions? I just wanted to do a short stream. All right, you guys have any last questions? I'm gonna end the stream soon. I'm not sure what you're asking for, Dell. Dell Optiplex? I'm doing good. Life is good. Yeah, I don't think my computer's egg frying temperature yet, but definitely like hand warmer, you know? Like, you know, you crack one of those little hand warmers, you can put them in your pocket. It's like that level right now. What do you want to decode or encode data? I feel like there's a whole discussion going on in the chat that's unrelated to everything. Base 64? Like, what am I missing over here? Can you show how to decode a post data? An encrypted post data example app Duolingo. I mean, if it's encrypted, you're not going to be able to decrypt it unless you have a decryption password. If it's just encoded, you can just base64 decode it or whatever encoding they do. Hey, I'm not sure what you're trying to do, Dell. Sounds like you're trying to get information you probably shouldn't be trying to get. Well, it's because I'm using. Isn't it about Next having their own way of handling an EM environment? Probably. I mean, I'm using TSX to run this file, and so the way I understood it, like, you use .env to load in the environment variable. Like, TSX is its own runner, right? I wonder if I tried TS node, if that would have worked. Like, if I did, let's see, mpx TS node transpile only, and then I did source migration, or migrate TS. And then I'm going to get rid of database URL. I'm going to bring back that .env stuff. Can I use an import statement outside of a module? It's another reason I hate TypeScript. It's just like, you'll try to run a file, you get these weird errors. You got to go and look at your TS config and change some stuff. Outside of a module. Wait, how's this working now? Now this seems like it's working. Even when I'm not running it. Oh, wait, that's why it's working. I have this. Duh. Anyway. Yeah, so I mean, I was just trying to like, I realized that the way I was migrating my database was doing a push PG, but that's more for like prototyping. The proper way is you create migration scripts and then you apply those to your database. But I realized that I wasn't even using these scripts because I was just like doing push PG. So I started working on a migrate script that runs a migrate file to basically apply all of those migration scripts to my database. But then we got caught up with like, for some reason it wasn't working because it wasn't passing environment variables correctly. Which that's where we're kind of at now. I'm trying to, this is more of like a node, TSX thing I'm trying to figure out. I was like, why is it that I'm running .env here, but then on line 4, it doesn't seem like it has that env variable set. But I'm pretty sure if I did the same thing with like node with like require, it would have found that. This quick start guide is kind of lacking, so that's kind of something I would say kind of sucks about Drizzle. It's just, I don't know. It feels kind of weird. Let's see if there's anything else about environment variables. Yeah. Anyway, I'll figure it out when I'm not on stream. I'm gonna wrap this up. Without importing .env. Did you try put URL to env local with importing .env? Drizzle docs are getting an overhaul soon. I think a lot of stuff is missing. Yeah, I'll try that. Let me try .local. And then I will get rid of this. No, it's still failing with the same error. Cool. All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to stream, get back into the routine of streaming like once a week. I used to do it every Sunday. Kind of got burned down on it because my computer can't handle it. But maybe I'll try to incorporate streams more if I can figure out a solution to like make my computer not lag up. Yeah, I could probably join their Discord and like ask questions about that. Other than that, yeah, guys, I have a Discord myself. You guys are welcome to join if you want to find a place to kind of talk or hang out with other developers. And that's it. So have a good day. Happy coding. And stay tuned for when I stream in the future. I'm going to go ahead and end this one.